Well, Festus, keyamo, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, while reacting to a now viral 2019 tweet.
Yes, it's Peace TV. On today's episode, and particularly we're talking about the recent updates that I would like you to watch next on Keyamo, who is known to be Tinubu's aide, supporting him on the result forgery, which is seen to be a crime, All these things and all these are politicians. I don't even know them, understand them anymore. When it falls to your own benefit, you look for a way to bend it to your own benefits, But when it falls on the other side, it turns to a crime. I would like you to watch the video on the next and also hear and see how Keyamo tries to defend President Tinubu. But all the same, please don't forget to tap on that subscription button, like our videos, comment, and share. Thanks for watching. It's Peace TV.
In which he stated that forgery occurs when the supposed author of a document denies ever making it or denies its authenticity while defending Buhari's certificate, attempted to clarify his statements. Taken to X on Sunday, the minister stated that until the vendor who issued a replacement certificate to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu denies the document, there is no case against him. His tweet reads in part, "I have been a defense and prosecution lawyer at the highest level in criminal trials for more than 30 years. You cannot allege or prove forgery except the purported maker of the document denies its authenticity or there is uncontradictory evidence of a forensic report that categorically says the document was deliberately altered or concocted by the person who authored in a legal sense or who issued it." Applying this principle to the case of Atiku Abubakar versus Chicago State University, so long as the university openly said they do not issue replacement certificates, but that vendors do so on their behalf, all these noise about so-called forgery are useless until the particular vendor that issued the replacement certificate to Tinubu denies its authenticity. And it is the duty of the accuser to fish out the said vendor and get that evidence. It is not the other way around. He who alleges must prove. Again, a lot of, contradicting statements here by the Minister of Aerospace and Development. In one hand, he described what forgery meant. And in another hand, he's saying he who alleges must prove. Again.
The first thing that came to mind, OJ, was that this is the way of lawyers. They can give different perspectives on the same matter. Short of saying that, the olden days when they say, oh, lawyers are liars, don't marry lawyers, and so on. I know a number of distinguished lawyers, so I won't impugn on the integrity of lawyers by saying that that's the general way of lawyers.
Yes.
But if you look at the first part of his tweet, he had already given a base. In fact, that statement said, or. So the big one, just in the same way we debated about the and, during the elections, he said or. So it's either or. It's not. So if once you satisfy one aspect of that tweet, it is enough to deem a certificate as forgery. Therefore, he says, if it occurs when the supposed author of a document denies ever making it or. So let's take the first part of it. CSU said that they were not aware, and Waziri Atiku Abubakar quoted that paragraph, I believe it was 26, in the deposition or page, that they were not aware of a certificate or they didn't issue the certificate. That satisfies already Mr. Festus Keyamo's claim that if in the event that happened, the certificate is deemed as forgery. The other side, in terms of the vendor, this is the narrative that we talk about pushing. And when we had Mr. Libero Soshoma here last week, we asked him to show us in the deposition where they had talked about vendors, alternative vendors. What you had shown, and even here on What's Trending, OJ, was a process by which you could request a certificate.
Go online.
You go online to their website, you request for it. There was no conversation around vendors, but they've skewed the reality of what was actually deposited to make it seem as if that's what CSU said. Mr. Festus Keyamo is a senior advocate of Nigeria and well respected in many circles. It is important to be able to stick to the truth. Whether the truth was said in 1920 or 1999 or 2023, the truth remains constant. Don't try to explain away something you already established as a legal mind years later because it suits a particular narrative. Nigerians deserve the truth, and the truth should be consistent all the time.
Well said, Ayo. Well, Yeah, quickly.
Okay, quickly. This issue of forgery is part of the major substance of the matter that has been taken to the Supreme Court. There are decided cases on how you prove forgery. Let the Supreme Court worry about it.
Yes.
We are not a court of law here. However, the point that keyamo made about
He who alleges
must prove. That's a settled matter in law.
Yes.
When you make an allegation, the burden of proof is called burden of proof. Section 131 of the Evidence Act. The burden of proof is on you. Aliyu versus Okoye and others. Betty versus A.G. Leventis. Garuba versus Federal Republic of Nigeria. So these are relevant cases. If you make an allegation, you prove it. Underscore is right.
I get
the
you.
other part, we leave it to the court.
Yes, I get you. The issue, Dr. Abati, is the fact that in 2019, he had said forgery occurs when the supposed author of a document denies ever making it or denies its authenticity. So the reason why it's such an issue for keyamo is because of that, nothing more than that.
This is before the court.
Yes,
the
absolutely.
court will determine.
I'm just saying the reason why it was trending is
public
because
opinion
of that.
is not what will determine the court. Let them
Understood. Again, it is because of that contradiction that the story was trending.